Want to see a dead rat? Story 11, The Dragon and the Phoenix. What do you got there, sir? Too old and experienced to be startled by anything or anyone, this dragon slowly lifts his head from his treasure chest, his white whiskers glistening, his eyes still shining with the ancient humor and wisdom that he has long since forgotten. His breath plumes cold smoke, the fire inside now embers, although in his prime. With a trembling hand, he holds out a golden phoenix. One of the little ones will like this. Wow, absolutely. I carefully wrap it in my kerchief and tuck it into my knapsack. Look, a gold coin. I point toward a glint on the path. He stoops and falters. I write him, "Allow me." I pick it up and hand it to him. He studies and pockets it. Oh, there's another. Coins are scattered every few feet like Hansel and Gretel's pebbles, marking the way back to his lair. The ancient dragon, my father, once the Iron Man, now a garbage picker. Thankfully, not when I was a child. I wouldn't have understood then. Even as he became more demented, his need to survive and provide did not falter. He was constantly in quest of something valuable, something lost, something found. And the golden phoenix, a rubber duck he found in a garbage can, to where it was returned later that evening, maybe to be rediscovered by him tomorrow with renewed wonder and joy. The gold coins marking the path home, quarters. I had sprinkled them there on my way to find my dragon. He had earned that treasure and so much more. Years earlier, on his iron worker's salary, my father and mother managed to purchase 2 houses on a single lot. They rented out the brick 2-flat in front. We lived in the wood frame in the back, initially renting out the 2nd floor to make ends meet. I and 3 brothers slept 4 to a room, 2 to a bed. Long before this visit, my parents sold the humble park houses to the Chicago Housing Authority. The frame house that we grew up in was immediately demolished as a fire trap, occasioning my brother to observe, "We grew up in a house that wasn't good enough for poor people." 13 children raised in that house by the dragon and his wife. 4 own their own businesses, a nurse, a social worker, 4 lawyers, 2 docs, and a storyteller. As if we were poor. But now I can't really conclude without fessing up. Those rules to the voyage of life that I tried to divine from the Iron Man, the first 2, boys don't kiss and they don't cry, turns out they're not exactly true. Let me tell you a secret, but please don't tell anyone. I saw the Iron Man cry. He was 67 years old. He told me that when he was 5, his mother went to visit his sister, then 16 years old, married and living a few country miles away. He begged her to let him go with her. She told him to stay home and take care of his father. It started to rain, and she took the shortcut, wading across the big, muddy river. I'm convinced that even at 5, the Iron Boy would have carried her across that river. He was with her when she died a few days later in the hospital. He cried when he told me about this, and manly or not, I kissed him. His heart broke the day she died, but he refused to let it stop until he had carried his 13 and a few more across the river, not without some stumbles and bruises. I kissed him, and I kissed him each time I visited him until time and alcohol and salt tears too long harbored rusted his broken heart at the iron age of 90. My mother slipped into Alzheimer's. I sat with her often. We recited the rosary with the sisters on the Catholic TV channel. When we finished, she looked to the empty reclining chair next to her and said, "You know, there was a man who used to sit there. Seems to me like he was nice." She soon lost her ability to talk. I was with her the afternoon she died. I held her hand while she lay in her bed until she released my hand and gestured toward the ceiling, towards heaven, with both of her arms, eyes wide open, undoubtedly towards the nice man who was at her side throughout their odyssey, toward the Iron Man. Oh, and that teacher from Children's Memorial Hospital who invited me to the party? A blessed encounter, my co-pilot. 2 children and 46 years later, I still often misread her intentions, or pretend to. So life. You're born, you set off on the adventure. Sometimes you encounter a pirate, sometimes a dead rat, and sometimes an unexpected storm in El Dorado, Illinois. But sometimes little lost boys find a home, and if they're very, very fortunate, they find a home with an Iron Man and his wife. Thank you, you old skywalking son of a gun. I'll bet it's nice and warm and the fish are biting where you are now. And Mrs. Iron Man, I never became Pope. Thank you. Couldn't have not done it without you. Who knows where the time goes? Who knows where the time goes? Oh, Mom, Dad, I made a safe journey so far, and I'm telling tales of my odyssey. And this one's for you. Thank you.